Hi everyone. I'm your host, Johnson from the International Office at Jönköping University. Before we begin, some practical information. This session will be recorded and later we will put a copy of this feed onto our JU web and also YouTube channel in next few days. Kindly ask your questions at the Q&A function on Zoom, not the chat function. Please use Q&A function. We will answer all of the questions at the end of this webinar. So please, listen carefully and whatever questions you have, you can, make a note and later on ask us once we finish the webinar, and you will have the opportunity of doing that. Today, we'll discuss and gain inside information on our application process before I invite my guest from admissions office to speak on the topic, I would like to give you a quick overview of Jönköping University. Jönköping University is a modern university that thrives in a changing world and combines academic tradition with engagement by offering opportunities for internships and real-world case studies. We are strongly embedded nationally within the region and also internationally with an international body of students and faculty. Our campus serves as a platform that connects innovative and creative minds from across the globe. We are proud of what we have achieved, not just in terms of our rankings and accreditations, but what makes us most proud is what our students achieve after they graduate. So let's begin by finally welcoming Charlotte Carlson, an expert from the admissions department, to speak about how to apply for autumn 2023. Welcome, Charlotte.
Thank you, Jassim, and welcome to all of our viewers. I'm going to try to talk you through the process as clearly as I can. I'm going to start with sharing my screen. There we go.
Yep, we can see.
Good. We're actually going to start with my little presentation. This is specifically what to remember about applying as an international student for the autumn 2023 intake. So the first thing is, what is an international student? This is something that is sometimes difficult to understand because at Jönköping University, this is a person who is not currently living in Sweden. So if you're an international student who's now studying at JU or another Swedish university, you could still be considered as an international student if you're here for the purpose of study. So that means you have to upload transcript showing that you are a current student and that's your reason for being in Sweden. That makes you still an international student. However, if a person is living in Sweden because they have a work permit, they have family connections, a spouse or a parent or something, it doesn't matter if your nationality is something other than Swedish. It doesn't matter if your previous studies were done outside of Sweden. Jönköping University, JU, we're still going to consider you to be a so-called Swedish student, a national student. So then you should apply in the national Swedish round, which is completely in Swedish. So you might have to get some help if you don't understand the language. And that has its own dates, 15th of March to 17th of April, 23, and antagning.se. But this webinar is about our international students. So you're living outside of Sweden for the most part, and you're interested in coming here to study.
And then we are not going to follow these dates. The dates are already open right now.
Yeah. So I'm going to just tell you briefly the information that you need and the application form can be found through our admissions pages. So the quick link to that is ju.se/en/admissions. So if we go there, this is what you see when you first get to the page. We have some information, and the important information are here in these boxes, where you have the guides on how to apply, and they're different if you're applying for a bachelor's or a master's program. We also offer something called Pathway. We can get back to that later. Information about application and tuition fees, who is required to pay, and so on. Visa requirements and residence permit for those who have to apply for that. Non-EU citizens have to have a residence permit to be allowed to enter Sweden and to study. We have our language requirements, information about what tests are accepted and the scores needed. We also have information about possible scholarships and other funding opportunities. So yeah, just go there and read through the information. The most important thing to remember, however you apply or wherever you apply, is to prepare your documents. That means your passport, letter of motivation, your proof of English, and your documents, the school documents, whether it's from high school or if you're applying to a master's, your academic documents. There are specific country requirements that you might want to check out first as well. But any scanned document should be a color scan of the original document, where you can read every part of the page. Some documents have embossed seals, raised seals. It's good to have a very clear scan to show that as well. And the English requirements page tells you how to submit certain English English tests, if that is required. Now, international students who want to study at JU, there are two ways. You can either make a direct application through our website, the ju.se/en/admissions, or you can apply through the Swedish portal for the majority of Swedish universities, the universityadmissions.se. But the same thing is, find a program that you are interested in. That's the first step. Check the requirements. And if you have questions about the requirements or are a little bit unsure, what does it mean? We can't do pre-assessments, but we can tell you that, well, this area might not be okay, or this area might be okay. So yeah, submit an application and we'll see what happens. Now, the university admissions, you can apply for 4 master programs or 8 bachelor programs. That application is open from 17th of October until 16th of January. If you're non-EU citizen, you need to pay an application fee. The deadline to submit documents on time in the university admissions is 1st of February. And anything uploaded or submitted after that date, or if you apply after the 16th of January, that will be a late application and might not be processed. It all depends on
the availability.
The university you have applied to, because if you have applied to 8 different bachelor programs at the 8 different universities, one or a few of them might not process and others might. It completely depends. So preferably apply within the deadlines for an on-time application. Now, the university admissions, they have one date where the results are published, the 30th of March for masters and 5th of April for bachelor applicants. That is the called central portal, the university admissions. But we are going to talk about our direct application in this webinar. So we're going to focus on the how-to,
which is also highly recommended, I think.
It's highly recommended, yes. Oops. So the difference here is that you can apply to 2 master or 2 bachelor programs. So because it's just us that you're applying to in this portal. And our application, the direct application, is open from the 17th of October until 2nd of May. So the dates are different. If you're a non-EU citizen, you still have to pay an application fee. We'll get more information about that later. And you should submit your documents as soon as possible, because the direct application uses a rolling admission. So there's no set date. So basically it's a day-to-day process. Any application that is complete and qualified, we offer admission. So we have already started sending out offers. Applicants have already accepted some of them. So it's full speed ahead right now. So go do your application after you watch this webinar. Some programs have an interview process, our business programs for non-EU citizens. That's part of the selection process. So you're not going to be called for an interview unless you are qualified. So there's a difference between qualification and selection. You can be qualified but not selected, but you can't be selected if you're not qualified. So yeah. No, we're gonna go back to the website to talk about how to apply, because these links will give you step-by-step guide what you should do. But the number one is find a program. Find a program. So under Study at JU, our programs, you can find our bachelor and master programs. Click on the program you're interested in. Read the information. It tells you about after graduation, facts and requirements, tuition fee for non-EU or EEA citizens. So that's your first step. When you know what you want to apply for, you go here and you know it's a bachelor or master's, whichever. Bachelor's, step by step, like I said, find your program, check your eligibility, and submit your application. And information about the dates, how to upload documents, and yes, that is me again.
Yes.
In a video about how to write your letter of motivation, which you should upload. It also talks about documents to upload, information about scholarship, basically a link to how to apply, how we process the application, and what to do after an offer. Also information about our regular postal address, in case you need to send something by post. Most documents can be uploaded to your application. So this step-by-step guide can be found for bachelor's and for master's.
And I can also add that for scholarship application, you also have another video guide, right?
Yes, for our JU scholarship. So scholarships that the university is involved in is either the JU scholarship. It's a scholarship that's partial scholarship. It's part of the tuition fee that is available. Information on how to apply, and like you said, Justin, yes, here is another video about that. Now, master students from countries outside of Europe might be interested in the Swedish Institute scholarship. And what's important to say there is this direct application is not for you. Because in order to be qualified for the Swedish Institute full ride scholarship, you have to apply and be admitted through university admissions. So if the SI scholarship is something you have to have, that is, you can't apply for that and be admitted through our direct application and think that you can receive the scholarship. So SI scholarship applicants use university admissions.
And it's just for masters, not bachelor.
And that is just for masters, yes. The JU scholarship, that partial scholarship, is for both bachelor and master. So if you're going to study a bachelor's, you can apply for a JU scholarship, yes. But the scholarship has its own rules, and so read here, and the online application form can be found through this website, apply for JU scholarship. So check out the video and the guidelines, and then you can apply. Yes, how to apply. So what also happens is when you should check the language requirements as well, because English is a requirement, a certain level of English. So check out the language requirements, what our accepted tests and minimum results are. And if it's something here that you don't understand, you can contact us and ask us. There are certain exceptions to the English test, but they're quite specific. Not all high schools will meet the English requirement, even if you are studying English. So that's also something to keep in mind. But once you apply, we're going to also tell you about this.
But the good thing is that you don't need to worry about it, even if you do not fulfill the requirements, because we have a pathway school which offers English language as a study. So we will have a webinar for that coming up. So you can find that information on the web, and we will be specifically talking about the pathway, how to apply for that, and what is it about, etc. So
I'll remind you of this towards the end of this presentation as well. But the how to apply, basically you click on the button apply here, and this is where the magic happens. So this is where you find the program you were interested in. So there are a lot of master programs, but there are different areas, of course. I'm just going to pick one. Then you fill in your first name, that's your given name. So for me, that's my first name, my last name, an email address, your telephone number, because you see there are these asterisks here. That means that you have to fill these out, or there's going to be an error message when you try to submit the application. So fill in where you live. Now, where you live is if you're visiting someone in another country, that's not where you live. So it's about where you live. So we can just pick something. And just because you live in a certain country doesn't mean that your nationality is from that country. So your nationality is what's in your passport. So the country is and address is where you're living, and the nationality is what's in your passport. This next one does not have an asterisk. So that means that it's not required. And this means civic number in Sweden. So if you have ever studied in Sweden before, or you lived in Sweden years ago and you had a Swedish personal number, that's what this means. So if you were an exchange student, or you studied a bachelor program a few years ago, you should have a personal number, or perhaps a T number, so-called T number. It's a temporary number used by the schools, the universities in Sweden that use the same, that use university admissions and the administrative system called Ladoc that we use. So it's a way for you to keep the same information with you where you've studied. If you go on to Jönköping, you still have your studies at whatever other university you might have been to. So if you have never been to Sweden, if you have never studied in Sweden, if you have never applied to Sweden, just keep it blank. And if you don't know, keep it blank. Don't complicate things. The important thing is the date of birth. And in Sweden, we want to see the date of birth year, month, day. So it's different from other countries. So year, month, day. So if you were born 2nd of May 2000, it's 2000 0502, not 0205, because that makes it the 5th of February. So yeah. And then gender, male or female. Now, there's a section here that says universityadmissions.se. If you have applied to another university or JU through university admissions this year, last year, the year before that, if you have an application ID, put it there, because That way we might know if you're admitted. We can try to keep the same connection between the systems, so that information at university admissions, if you start here at JU, your studies at JU will automatically appear in the university admissions application system, if we know who you are, so we can keep track of you. This next section, for recruitment consultants only. Now, a recruitment consultant is not the student. A recruitment consultant is a person who's paid to help students apply. So if you're applying completely on your own, or your cousin or aunt is helping you, leave this completely blank. Put nothing there. It's only if you get helped by an official, someone who does this for a living.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The next section, proficiency test. Well, the English tests, like in IELTS, TOEFL. Since we're looking at a master's application, we also have something, we have GMAT and GRE here. So if you're a business student and you've done a GMAT or a GRE test, you can click there and upload those results.
But it's not mandatory. It's
not mandatory, but if you have it, you can submit it. This section is new for this year, Jasim, so you know. Here it says, I have ordered or will order the test to be sent to JU. Basically, if you're doing an IELTS and you haven't, the results are not in yet, that's when you click that. If you already upload, if you have your results and you're going to upload it, leave this blank. Just don't click in that one. Then comes the attachments. And the attachments are your documents, your passport, letter of motivation, your school documents, your English proficiency. So what you do is you click on this button here, choose file. And then it, on whatever, wherever you have your documents, upload them, choose one, here's a passport. Okay, but you're not done, you want to upload more. So you click on the plus sign here, and then you choose a new file. Perhaps your high school diploma. So try to name your documents like this. Easy, simple, short names. If you do it this way, 2.transcript, we're only going to see the number 2. So we're going to have no clue what the document is about. So no, thank you. Please just use the characters A through Z in British English, and keep it short. The file length cannot be more than 50 characters. So as easy as possible, make it as easy as possible. Now there is a maximum file size. So each of these PDF files cannot exceed 10 megabytes. So try to keep them small. And the only format allowed is the PDF. So nowadays, a smartphone can very easily turn things into PDFs. So that's a good thing. You can only upload 12 separate documents. Now, if you've submitted your application and then you have 12 documents and you figured, oh no, there was something wrong with the document, don't make a new application. Contact us and we'll help you. So if anything is wrong in your application, don't do a new application. Contact us and we will help you make the corrections. So that's important to remember. I talked about fees earlier. So citizens of countries outside of the EU and the European Economic Area or Switzerland are required to pay an application fee, 900 Swedish kroner. That's about €1,000-ish.
No, 100 euros. 100 euros.
100 euros. Sorry. Yes, 100 euros. Or dollars.
Yeah.
90
to $100 or 90 to 100.
You know, it's a currency exchange
exactly
thing going on, you know. So anyway, if you're a citizen of an EU country, or Switzerland or European Economic Area, that could be Norway, for instance, then you don't have to pay any fees. So if you're not required to pay fees, you click on this button, button here. And if you then click this next, that it's not going to be a next thing. It's going to submit your application. So just so you know that if you click this button and then next, you're submitting an application.
But if you don't click that, and then what happens
if you don't click,
then it means that you have to pay. Yeah, you have to pay. Then
you get to the page where you pay with a Visa or a MasterCard or a Maestro card. Now, if you don't have a Visa or MasterCard or Maestro card, you want to pay, you can pay through a bank transfer. You should click the prepayment option, because you click that and you click next, and that's going to submit the application. And then we're going to tell you how to pay by bank transfer. Now, what's important to remember here is also, if you have applied to another university in Sweden through university admissions right now, and if you've paid the application fee for the autumn 2023 intake at university admissions, you don't have to pay the application fee to us when you apply in the direct application. You do need to submit proof of that payment. So in our FAQ section, we have, how can I send proof of payment from university admissions? This is something you're also going to get in an email from us if you haven't paid. But here it tells you exactly what the proof should look like and how you submit it. So the FAQ section is actually very good. So check there as well. So that's a tip. Use the FAQ section. So yeah, if you don't click any of these and you click next, oh yeah, this happens if you missed something. So you have to, all of these with asterisk, you have to enter. So there we go. Email address. Oh. So if you've done everything right, it takes you to this page. And this is where you choose if you have a Visa or a MasterCard or a Maestro, and then you just follow the instructions there on payment. But to remember, you should make your application to Jönköping University either through the direct application or through the university admissions portal. You shouldn't apply for the same program in both systems. But if you miss the deadline for application at university admissions, which is in January, then we have our direct application still open. So pay attention to the deadlines for documents. Whichever system you're using, check the deadlines for documents. And try not to wait to upload or submit these documents unless you have to, unless you don't have them. So if you have access to your documents, upload them as soon as possible and check the specific requirements for your country. I already talked about this. If you have applied and you've paid the fee, so again, the information is in our FAQ section, but we will also remind you and tell you the different options once you have submitted an application. If you click the prepaid, we're gonna tell you and remind you if you haven't already submitted the proof of payment from university admissions. No. It was something I was gonna remind you of. Oh yeah, check the specific requirements. That's what I was going for. So under bachelor's, specific country requirements. Check this first, you know, if you're, and also note, we're currently working on our websites. So what's here today could be updated tomorrow. We're working on adding things and countries, but check here to see if there's anything specific about your country. Some countries have to send the documents directly. And this is also the case for applying for masters. Certain countries like the US, Pakistan, Bangladesh, your university has to send them directly to us. Pakistan, they have to be verified and sealed in an envelope by the HEC, the Higher Education Commission. So make sure that you read the information under the steps here. The step 4, upload documents to upload. It's a whole section here about countries where you have to have where you have to submit them in a certain way. So always read through the how-to guide before you go back to the top of the page and click apply here. So number 1, find the document, find the program that you're interested in, prepare your documents, read the how-to guide, then click on apply and follow the instructions as we've presented them today. And again, if you have an English test where you're not quite where you're supposed to be, your IELTS test is 5.5 instead of 6.5, for example, there's a pathway to get you to the program. If English is the only thing that you're missing, there's a way. So the pathway programs have their own website with requirements, and the application for the summer of 23 and autumn 23, it will open 2nd of December this year. So it's not open yet. So you should apply for a pathway program in combination with a master or bachelor program. That way we pre-assess for the bachelor or master program. And if you're admitted, then there's to the Pathway Plus, you're guaranteed admission if you successfully complete the pathway program, as long as the follow-up program doesn't change between the time you have completed the pathway and it starts. Sometimes things happen that we can't really prepare for, but we try to get things the best way possible. So again, yes, there's a webinar specifically for pathway. So if you don't meet the English requirements, you're welcome to join us on our webinar on the 13th of December. Is it the same time, Justin? Yes, 3 p.m.?
I think so. Yeah. It's the same time. Yes.
Yeah. And that too will be recorded and again, then posted a few days later on our web. And if you have questions after this webinar, after this live webinar, you can contact us, study@ju.se. That's the international office. Our colleagues in international recruitment, like Jassim and his friends, are checking that email, and the admissions office, admissions.office@ju.se. That's my colleagues and I at the admissions office. So that's for admissions related questions. Study JU, you can ask more kinds of questions, because the international office, they have connections with other parts of the university as well, and can help you with other types of information.
Sure.
So I've completed my presentation here.
Thanks very much.
So we have some questions, I think.
I think it was really helpful, and now we can take the questions, and we already have few. Okay, the first one, what are the admissions requirements for IBDP students applying for bachelor's?
IBDP, that's a IB diploma program.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. This webinar, we're not going to talk about admissions requirements. So send an email and also tell us the program you're interested in, because different programs have different admissions requirements. There's an entry requirement, and then there's specific entry requirements. So the general entry requirement for a bachelor's program is a completed high school studies. For master's, it's a bachelor's degree. Then the specific entry requirements has to do with specific subjects, areas of study, profiles, things like that. So send us an email to ask, and we'll talk to you there.
Perfect. And the next question is, I'm an elite athlete and interested in Pathway for International Sports. Could you please talk about it? As I noticed, this is a new addition to at JU.
And it is a pathway program. So we're not going to talk about pathway programs in this webinar. So you're welcome to the webinar on the 13th of December.
Sure.
However, the Pathway for International Sports starts every spring. It's a brand new, so it's starting in this spring. So that is technically open for admissions right now. It's still open for late applications. The thing though is that Pathway for International Sports is so new that I can't really answer many questions about it. So again, send us an email and we'll connect you to someone who can answer that question.
Perfect. I've already submitted the application with long names. Now, in the attachments, should I upload again and rename them?
No, if you've already done that, we'll try to find them anyways.
Yeah.
So that's
don't worry,
fine.
Javier.
Yeah.
So Corin is asking, so I can upload other documents now and then later upload the missing one?
Yeah. So when you have submitted your application, you will get an automated response. Check your junk folder, your spam folder, to make sure that it doesn't appear there, and put the admissions office as a trusted sender. And then we will, the automated response, the confirmation that the application actually went through, it contains a link back to the application form. The only thing that you will be able to do is to upload more documents. You can also click and download to view your documents which you submitted, so that if there's anything wrong, contact us by email and tell us exactly what is wrong, which document, what it's called, and we'll help you sort that out. And then you can upload more documents. For instance, if you didn't have your English test results right now, well, upload everything else, and then you can go back and you upload when you get the result.
What is the response time for applications?
That depends on how complete they are. So there are a lot of things that come into effect there. So yeah, it depends.
Weeks.
If some applications need to be, some master applications, they need to be sent for additional review from the school where the program is given. For instance, like engineering programs. So there's another layer of review taking place. So if the application is complete, after the application is complete and after we start reviewing them a few weeks, and we don't start to review your application the minute you have submitted it, it takes a couple of weeks before we get to that, because we do give you the time to submit more documents if you remember that, oh yeah, I need to do this as well. And then we contact you if there's more to upload. If it's not, we're just going to say we started to review, and after that it could take a few weeks after you get that email. So
Yeah.
the response time depends.
But let's say if there is no interview required or it doesn't need to go to school, then I think 2 to 4 weeks would be what I would imagine.
I would say 3, well,
Okay.
3, 4, 5, somewhere there. It will depend on how many applications have been submitted as well. So if we get 1 application per day, it's a little bit different if we get 100 applications per day.
Yeah,
because we don't have 100 people working with this.
No.
So that's why I'm saying it can depend.
Uvini is asking, I hope I'm spelling it correctly. Can we apply from the both ways, direct and through university admissions? If yes, can we apply to 10 bachelor altogether, 8 from university admissions and 2 from direct applications?
Basically, you can apply to other universities through university admissions and then to Jönköping through our direct application. Try to choose to apply to Jönköping University either through university admissions or direct application.
And they don't need to, I mean, even if they haven't selected JU as an option on university admissions, they still do not need to pay when they apply a local when they make a local application directly to us.
That's right. That's why the receipt is so important.
Exactly.
If you've never applied to Jönköping at university admissions, we don't have access to any information that you give them. So that's why the proof of payment is so important. But even if you have applied to Jönköping before, you still need to upload that proof of payment and all of your documents. The difference also between university admissions and the direct application is university admissions, you have an account where your documents, once you've uploaded them, they are there. So you don't have to upload them again. The direct application directly to us at Jönköping University, each new application is completely new. It's separate from any applications you've ever made. So you have to upload the documents.
So technically the answer is yes for Uvini, because she can apply for 8 at university admissions and 2 to us.
Yeah, but please don't apply to 8 JU, well, 8 is the bachelor's, but don't apply to all of our bachelor programs there and then do it again through the direct. Jönköping University, pick either or. If you have applied at university admissions and then there was something missing and your application would become a late application, then maybe you could make an application through our direct, and then you don't have to upload more documents to university admissions. But if you have questions about this, whether or not you should, again, contact us and ask for our opinion and see what we can.
Ayobami is asking, I've applied for master's, but through this live webinar, I got to know that I'm supposed to input my application ID from admissions.se, and also the documents I uploaded, I need to name them in English, e.g. my international passport. So please, what should I do?
Okay. The name of the documents, leave them as they are. We'll try to figure it out anyways. And if you have an application ID from university admissions, what you can do is you can take a screenshot of your application there at university admissions, where your application ID is visible, and send it to us and ask us, so then we can enter your application ID on your behalf in the direct application. So contact us and we'll try to help you. Yeah.
If I don't have my ESOL CAE, Cambridge Education English, I think certificate yet, but I'm taking the test soon. Should I mark in the application under the section proficiency test?
You should check the box for the test that you will submit, and since you don't have it yet, you can actually also click the box for that new box that I don't remember the name of, but the indication box as well, that you have ordered basically the test. So do that. So that gives us a heads up that it's coming.
I'm from Nigeria. I put in Caroline is asking, I'm from Nigeria. I put in for master. Oh, sorry. I think have I missed another question? Can you further? Sorry, Uvini is before this. And can you further emphasize the importance of applying from direct applications? Is there any possibility that we don't get a chance if we apply through university admissions without direct applications?
The difference is that university admissions has every applicant who is qualified will be placed in a ranking with your grade, based on your grades. And then when the selection happens in March or April, depending on bachelor or master, the system, the computer system we've entered how many places are available, and they will pick that number of applicants based on the grades. And then everyone else will be on a reserve list, a waiting list. In the direct application, it's a rolling admission. So if you're qualified and your grades are sufficient, you could be admitted before the selection in university admissions. So it all depends on your preference, really.
But we recommend our local system.
Yeah, but it depends. I mean, if you're applying to other universities as well, and you don't want the hassle of different systems, it's again your preference. But yes, we might have a few more places available in the local application than the university admissions.
And much faster.
And it does. If you submit your application now, you'll get a decision before the selection through university admissions. So yeah.
So Caroline is asking, I'm from Nigeria. I put in for master program. Do I need the English test?
Well, Nigeria, if your bachelor is from a Nigerian university in English, that would meet the English requirement. If you have your English,
school, quite often,
if you have your English in the West African Senior School Certificate, that too is the sufficient English.
When you made admissions fee, Etinosa is asking.
Etinosa, yeah.
Yeah, when you made admissions fee payment through Visa debit card, do you get confirmation after payment, like, for example, an email of confirmation?
Okay. if you're paying the application fee at the same time as you're submitting the application, you should only get one confirmation, and it doesn't say anything about the payment. It just says that the application
Successfully
has been submitted, and remind you about documents and things like that. So again, check your spam filter for any, in case it appeared there. But if you haven't received any confirmation at all where the sender is admissions.office@ju.se, there's a chance something happened. So yeah, check your spam filter, and if you have no confirmation at all, contact us, and we'll see what we can get our IT.
Antinosa is further asking, I made admissions payment fee and I didn't get a confirmation email.
So that's the same question, just a different way.
So Jacob is asking, can I attach my school leaving exam results till after May 2nd, as the results will be published in August?
Oh, okay. There are, there are 200 different school systems in the world. Some school systems we can offer conditional admission for. Some school systems, unfortunately, we cannot. Your best bet, Jacob, to get a correct answer is to send us an email where you also tell us what school system you're studying. If it's British or Irish or some other country. So send us an email with the country of your studies, and we'll answer you there.
Yeah. If, for example, so Evelyn is asking, if, for example, we submit an application without the English test and we later submit it, let's say on the 14th of May, you can only start reviewing the application after the file is complete, right?
Yes. Well, yes and no. We might check to see that if the English, if the only thing missing for qualifying the applicant is English, we'll wait until the English test. But if we see straight away that there's, even the English test, it's not gonna, it's not gonna help. We'll try to give bad news early. We don't want to wait for you to give you bad news. But yes, if we have to wait for the English test to place an applicant as qualified, so it has to be complete.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Charlotte. It was a pleasure having you with us for this webinar, and I think it was quite useful for our students who attended this. And later, remember everyone, we are going to put this the feed of this webinar on our YouTube channel and also on our web. So you can watch that and also share with your friends later on if you wish to do that. And thank you very much for attending today. And I hope to see you at Jönköping University and in Jönköping in August 2023. All the best. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.